So this week we are looking at the second of the Ten Commandments. In the second book in the Bible, in Exodus chapter 20, verse 4 and 5, we see this commandment. It says this: "You shall not make for yourself an image in the form of anything in heaven above, or on the earth beneath, or in the waters below. You shall not bow down to them or worship them, for I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God." Let's look at a story in the Bible to understand what this commandment means. In this story in the Bible, God has just delivered Israel, his chosen people, out of Egypt, where they were being kept as slaves and treated very unfairly. Whilst Moses goes up to Mount Sinai to speak with God, the people of Israel became worried and lost sight of God's promise to lead them to the land where they would be free. They then turned to Aaron and said this: "Come, make us gods, who will go before us. As for this fellow Moses, who brought us out of Egypt, we don't know what's happened to him." And so they did. They took the rings of gold that they owned, melted them down, and made a massive golden calf. Even worse than this, all of the people bowed down and worshipped this idol, as if it was this God who had delivered them. So instead of worshipping God, they worshipped their self-made God, the golden calf. They had just broken the second commandment by worshipping an image they had made. How silly could they be?
Okay, so what? What has this got to do with me? That was then, but this is now. We wouldn't be stupid enough to make a golden calf and bow before it. Don't we know far better than to bow down to a golden calf? Do we? Let's think for a minute. We may not make something and bow down before it, but let's look at some things that we can serve. Our phones, sport, computer games, music. Just like the people of Israel replaced God with a statue of a golden calf to worship, we actually do the same when we replace God at the centre of our hearts with these things. Now, there is nothing wrong with phones, sport, computer games, music, and all the other things you can think of. The real problem is putting them first in our lives and spending more time with them than we do speaking with God by reading the Bible and praying to Him. Ask yourselves these questions. Do I love God more than I love these other things? Or do I serve football, music, or anything else instead of God? Who do you serve?